to the DMF. I'm your host, Justin Yance. This is episode 31, and we're going to be talking about, some of the things in my life that are going on. We're going to talk about books I've been reading. We're going to talk about the film The Others. We're going to talk about a film called Shallow Grave, Boy Erased. I'm going to talk a little bit about the election, and we'll end with a quote from the new president. So stay tuned. Okay, so my short film is going well. I'm excited. My parents are all over COVID, so that's great. We don't have to wear masks anymore in the house. I've got this new professional audio recorder called the Zoom F1, which I'm very excited to start using. So yeah, I think I'm ready to get back to work on the short film, because I couldn't have anybody here for the longest time because everyone was wearing masks and we had to just be very careful. I mean, I was wearing masks, I was wearing gloves, I was washing my own dishes in the sink upstairs because I didn't want anything breathed on. I went through all the precautions you could think of. I mean, I had hand sanitizer every 2 seconds. If I went downstairs, I had a mask on. It was crazy, but they're all better now, so we can get back to filming again, and I'm excited. So let's talk a little bit about some of the books I've been reading. As well, I haven't made this known, but I have a goal of 52 books a year. Now, normally you would do this, you would start at the beginning of the year and read a book each week. I got kind of sidetracked there, but I'm at 35, so I'm pretty close to reaching my goal. So let's talk about one of the books that I'm working on and I'm enjoying. It's called Mirror Work by Louise Hay. And Louise Hay, she created, I think she helped make a lot of, she created her own publishing company and everything, so allowing more self-help books to be created and stuff. I'm going to check on that real fast. I want to make sure. I didn't even think about it till just now, but yeah, let's see here. Louise Hay, and let's see. I believe she helped make some of these books, such as, let's see here. Where's the book? I think it's this one. I think this one is yeah, there we go. The Hay House. So I'm pretty sure the Hay House is Louise Hay's. Yes, it is. So Louise Hay, who wrote the Mirror Work, which is a nice book. It's all about affirmations, and it's really about like looking yourself in the mirror and trying to just say nice things about yourself. And it's weird because we live in a society where we don't do that anymore. We're kind of like, I look like crap, I don't look good, and this forces you to sit down and look yourself in the eye and go, I love you, and then saying my name. And that was really hard. I'm not gonna lie, that was a hard thing to do. Another book I read, as you know, I'm really working hard on trying to get speed reading down because I want to be able to read 300 pages in 60 minutes. That's my goal. So I'm reading a book called speed reading called by Justin Hammond, and it's an interesting book because it talks about it talked about a lot of different details you can do with speed reading, and how some people disagree with this. Some people think that you should read every word. Some people should say you shouldn't. But what I liked about it is it gave you an exercise, and then it gave you questions on testing you. So you were testing comprehension, because one of the things that gets lost sometimes with speed reading is comprehension. I mean, comprehension is key. If you just read really fast and you don't really know what you read, well, unfortunately, you're not really reading. So that's something that I'm looking at. And I have another book that I'm about to begin. Two books I'm excited to begin soon. You Are a Badass. That's the title. Not trying to curse here, but that's the name of the book. By Jen Sincero. And she's got kind of a series of books. And I'm excited to delve into that. It's another self-help book, but it looks interesting. Another book that I bought was Happy Money by Ken Honda. And this is about somebody who really takes the idea of money and puts happiness into the money. And I'm excited to hear about those ideas. Yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. I'm excited to read these books, and I'm excited to get back to filming. And there was something else I was going to mention, but, well, it escapes me. Oh, well, what could you... Oh, it's right here in front of me. One of the things I did is I bought a mirror. I bought a pocket mirror so that, because this mirror workbook, you know, you got to say things while you're looking at yourself in the mirror, and you have to journal about it. So it's very proactive in teaching you how to do things. So I'm excited to do those things. So when we come back, I will talk about the movies, and I look forward to talking about them. So the first film we're going to discuss is the film called Shallow Grave. And the significance of this film is this is the first film from director Danny Boyle, who, as you know, has directed Slumdog Millionaire. He did Trainspotting. He's done a lot of great films. Steve Jobs is one of my favorite films. So this is his first film, but there's also a little bit more to this. This is also the acting debut, filmed acting debut of Ewan McGregor. So it stars Kerry Fox, Christopher Eccleston, and Ewan McGregor, and they're like three friends and a roommate. It's written by John Hodge, who adapted Irvin Welsh's Trainspotting. So this is a British black comedy. It came out in 1994, and I'm going to read a little synopsis I found online that I think really highlights it. The film is a diabolical thriller, Shallow Grave. This is the first film, Danny Boyle, I already mentioned that. And there are three self-involved Edinburgh roommates, played by Kerry Fox, Christopher Eccleston, and Ewan McGregor. And like I said, this is his first starring role. And they take in this brooding boarder, and when he dies of an overdose, leaving a suitcase full of money, the trio embark on a series of very bad decisions, with extraordinarily grim consequences for all, macabre, but with a streak of offbeat humor. This stylistically influential tale of guilt and derangement is full-throttle bit of Hitchcockianness nastiness. Simon Boswell did the score for this. I like it. It's very dark, and it's like a throwback to that style that Danny Boyle kind of really pushed with certain films. You see it in Trainspotting. You see it in 28 Days Later. That like kind of bright colors, but it's almost grayish dark. This really interesting palette, but the way he films is, you know, that quick long takes, and there's one point where he's got this red smoke everywhere where they're digging a grave, and it just looks beautiful. I mean, he really can like shoot something horrific and make it pretty, and I think that's really one of the great things about Danny Boyle's films is the cinematography is just off the charts. One of the things, this was filmed in Glasgow. It wasn't filmed in Edinburgh, and it only was a 30-day shoot. But it really goes through this interesting. The characters go through these interesting changes when they have this money. Christopher Eccleston really goes through a change where he just kind of becomes this kind of deranged character at one point, where he's poking holes on the ceiling. So it's interesting. It has a lot of interesting character change. Like, they first just start off as these like really happy characters, and as this goes on, you find them slowly just changing more and more. And it has a great twist at the end, and it's really, I really enjoyed it. I was thrilled that I got to discover it. I discovered it late at night. I've known about the film, but I never had really gone and watched it. And here I got a chance to watch it, and I'm very excited. Simon Boswell, who did the score, also did the score for Trainspotting as well. So, and he worked on Blade Runner as well. No. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the cinematographer. Strike that. The cinematographer worked on Shallow Grave. He worked on Blade Runner. He worked on... He wasn't the main cinematographer, but he was working on there, and that must have been an experience. Brian Tufano. He's an English cinematographer. Simon Boswell. Let's look at some of his work here. He has scored A Midsummer Night's Dream in 1999, the film there. He scored The Crying Game. So a lot of stuff here. Interesting. Nothing really significant that you would say is like the bread and butter, but he's done a lot of different films. So yeah, that's a little bit about Shallow Grave. If you have a chance to see it, if you like Trainspotting, I think you'd like this film. So I recommend going to see this, and because I'm going to see it again. The next film I saw was The Others. Now, this is a film I haven't seen, and believe it or not, it was Halloween night, and I felt I needed to see something that was Halloween-esque, and I was not disappointed. And this is directed by Alejandro Amenbar. And the interesting thing about this is he worked on a film called Agora, and he also is a composer and a screenplay writer, and he's a Chilean director. This film stars Nicole Kidman, Finola Flagen, and once again Christopher Eccleston. That's kind of a coincidence. It's funny that we just got done talking about Christopher Eccleston, and here he is in this film. Now, he plays a very minor role in this, but very significant. The director did the music as well. I really enjoyed this film. I thought Nicole Kidman's acting was sublime. I thought she just really hit all the notes, and the eeriness and just the way it's set up. It could only be done by a European director in some ways. I feel like this is an underrated film. I don't think it gets its due, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm going to talk a little bit about spoilers, so if you want to cut off, we'll cut off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have been warned. Spoilers here. So I did not see that twist that Nicole Kidman was really the dead people all along. She's the others. And I thought that was a really interesting twist, and they protected it well. And if you really go back and look at it, you go, oh, there's a hint there. There's a hint there. There's a hint there. And finding out that she's the one who killed her kids, it makes the whole thing make sense. And I just thought it really, it reminded me of Crimson Peak, and it's that dark ghost story. It's not a film about, jump scares and things like that. There's a couple there, but it's really the film as a whole that is scary. And I just have to say, Nicole Kidman was amazing. She deserves an Oscar for that. I think she was nominated for that, but I think she was also nominated for The Hours. So, I think this film came out in 2001. I'm going to make sure. Yes, this was a 2001 film. So she was going to win the Oscar next for The Hours, and that was 2002. So hats off to her. But this was just amazing work. I was very impressed, and I'm very happy. And Christopher Eccleston, man, what a body of work that guy has. Doctor Who, he's been in Marvel films. His Hamlet, I hear, in Britain was was amazing. Was just terrific, and I wonder if there's a recording of that. I need to find that. So all in all, watch the film The Others. I recommend The Others. Now, the last film I'm going to talk about is a film called Boy Erased, and I saw this, I think, the same night as The Others. And this came out in 2018, and this is directed by Joel Edgerton, who is an actor as well. And he directed The Gift, and he wrote the film The Rover. And I believe Joel Edgerton is, let's see, what nationality is he? He's Australian. He's from Prospect, New South Wales, Australia. And he went to the University of Western Sydney. He had a little cameo in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, as well as Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. He did King Arthur, Zero Dark 30, The Great Gatsby, Black Mass. I love him in Black Mass. Red Sparrow. Oh yeah, he was in Red Sparrow. So he's done a lot of work. He's a terrific actor, and he's an exceptional director as well. And this is an interesting film because this film, I just realized I never gave a synopsis for The Others, but it's a film that came out in 2001, so I really don't have to give a synopsis for it, but I probably should, but as I said, it's a ghost story and it's good. Boy Erased is based off of the biographical memoirs of Gerard Conley. In 2016, he wrote these memoirs, and Joel Edgerton wrote and directed this film. And it stars Lucas Hedges, Nicole Kidman, Joel Edgerton, Joe Alwyn, Flea, and Russell Crowe. Lucas Hedges plays the title character in this. Nicole Kidman plays his mother. Joel Edgerton plays the person who's trying to pretty much erase the homosexual attitude of him. Joe Alwyn is one of the kids in there. Flea is also one of the workers with Joel Edgerton, and Russell Crowe plays the preacher who kind of almost wants to disown his son. And this film is really about someone discovering that he's gay, and his family not really accepting it and sending him to one of those, to a place where they try to erase the gay in you. And it shows how tormented he is and how tormented the people are and how they just treat him. And this place is called Love in Action. It's a gay conversion therapy, and it's an assessment program, and it's in Memphis, Tennessee. And seeing the things they do, I mean, at one point they call him the F word, F-A-G, and it's horrible. And you see Russell Crowe not coming to terms with that his son is gay, and thinking we can fix this. And it's really Jared Amon's, Lucas Hedges' character, really just coming to terms with who he is inside. And I thought it was just a beautiful story. And Nicole Kidman, Lucas Hedges, everyone, great acting all around. Really great ensemble piece. And the music is done by Danny Bensi and Saunders Uranians. I think this is their first score, so I couldn't find much about that. Box office did pretty well. There was kind of a bidding war. Netflix, Purna Pictures, and Focus Features, and Amazon Studios all wanted this film. Focus Features won out, but it's a great film, and it's a really touching film. At the GLAAD Media Awards, it won Outstanding Film in a Limited Release. Boy Erased, go see it. I could talk about spoilers, but there really isn't much to talk about spoilers. It's the whole film, and it's just somebody really going through something traumatic and no one being there to help him. And you seeing him deal with that and figuring it out a way to get past it and come to terms with, I am gay and I am doing the right thing, and this is the right thing for me. And how is he going to escape this prison that they've put him in? And there's one point in the movie where you're just like on the edge of your seat and you're like, is he going to get out? Because these people, you know, they're not using kind ways to get him there, to keep him there. And I recommend this film. A little gem, I must say. So that's a little bit about some films I saw this week. I recommend all of them in order. I'd say Shallow Grave, The Others, and Boy Erased. I mean, they're all great. Go see them. And when we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about The Mandalorian Episode 2. Mandalorian. This would be episode 2 of season 2, but the way they do it is chapter 10. And this is called The Passenger. And it's directed by Peyton Reed, who directed the film, the Ant-Man films. Amy Sedaris' character comes back in this, and it's all about finding the covert Mandalorian. That seems to be the arc throughout this whole season, is the Mandalorian is trying to find another Mandalorian so that he can protect the child. This was not my favorite episode. It has moments in it that I liked. Basically, the Mandalorian is taking the pregnant creature to a planet called Trask to be with her husband, and she's got these eggs, and they can't really go through. They can't go through the. They can't go through hyperspace. So I'm going to get into spoilers right away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only way to really talk about this is through spoilers. So, like I said, this isn't my favorite episode, but it's a nice episode to get us to where I think we're going towards. We get the X-Wing rebels kind of catching them. They chase them to this planet, this ice planet or whatever, and at one point the creature, goes into takes an ice bath but it's like a warm spring, like spring of water. So the Mandalorian comes and finds her there, and the child goes and finds these eggs and opens one of them up, and there's this spider creature, and eats it. Well, what he does is wake up all the other spiders, and they all open up, and it's very reminiscent of Alien, the very first Alien, when Kane finds the eggs and the facehugger grabs onto him. It really invoked that, and the way they shot it kind of looked like that. So you're kind of nervous, there's a little, I'm sorry, I still like calling him Baby Yoda. I know he's the child, but little Baby Yoda getting the little, these creatures there, and he's trying to put. So basically, the Mandalorian can't go into hyperdrive with these eggs there because it will kill them. So it gives him this caveat, and he's chased by those these rebels who are in X-Wings to this ice planet, and now he's being attacked by this spider things, and then there's this giant spider, and it's kind of a nice little chase. It kind of reminds me of the Hold the Door episode of Game of Thrones, where they're being chased by the ice people, ice people, because we find out that Bran can no longer stay there because he's been marked by the king guy, the Night King or whatever. I forget what his name is. Game of Thrones didn't end well to me. But I thought Peyton Reed did a good job of pacing things. It's just not my favorite episode, but I liked a lot of the things they do. The creature, these spider creatures like kind of come on the ship, and he's got to shoot them all, and he's got to burn them off and everything. And then right when he's about to get away, the giant one jumps onto there, but the X-wing saves them, and they kind of figure out who he is, and they're like, well, we're gonna let you go. He repairs the ship, and they're off. And that's kind of how the episode ended. I thought it was good. It was a good episode, but not my favorite. So I recommend seeing it. If you like The Mandalorian, go watch it. Good stuff all around. I love The Mandalorian. It's a great show. So that's chapter 10, and when we come back, it's election time. Election Day 2020, November 3rd. I believe it's number 3rd, wasn't it? It feels like a lifetime ago, but yes, November 3rd, Election Day. This turned into be election week. This was amazing. I'm just like sitting on the edge of my seat. I stayed up all night on Tuesday, and I basically got like zero sleep. And then I tried to stay up all day on Wednesday till I basically crashed. So this was exciting and fun to watch. I always love watching the results come in. We didn't really kind of figure it out till really Thursday when Michigan and Wisconsin came in. Is that when they came in? It all feels like a blur today. But we found out on Saturday that Joe Biden will be president-elect. He won 273. The deciding state was Pennsylvania. And so far, they did call in Arizona now. So it's 290 to 214. So Nevada, Arizona, Georgia looks like it's about to go blue. So this was an interesting thing. Let's look at some of these states. So Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Pennsylvania, New York, all of New England and Virginia all went blue. Now the Republicans got Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Texas was actually competitive this year. That was kind of exciting to watch. Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, and they're probably going to get North Carolina as well as South. And they got South Carolina, and they got Florida. Hawaii was blue as well. I forgot to mention that. Alaska looks like it's going to go red as well. North Carolina should probably be red, but Florida, yeah, a lot of people thought that was going to be a deciding state. It kind of prolonged the election, but yeah, this was the most votes ever cast in a presidential election. So we had 75 million to 70 million. So all the Republicans came out and all the Democrats came out. And fortunately for the Democrats, they got the most, and that was 75. So yeah, the president-elect Joe Biden. Now, some people are going to dispute the election. I don't see any fraud here. I think, in 2016, Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton fair and square. In 2020, Joe Biden beat Donald Trump fair and square. I think those are fair to say. The Senate looks like it might be retained by the Republicans, and the House is going to be Democratic. So this is a chance for both parties to really come together and realize that we need to solve COVID and we need to solve problems for the American people, and we need to do that. And I think Joe Biden, since he's been there, is in a really good position to be there because they all know him, and I'm really anxious to see what he does. Now, I thought Joe Biden, on his victory speech as president-elect, he said some nice, kind words. He said, to those of you that didn't vote for me, those of you that voted for Trump, I understand where you are. I've lost elections as well. I want to be, let me earn you. And I thought that was really nice. That was something that it was missing in 2016. Donald Trump never said at any point that he wanted to help the Democrats in any way. It was basically, we're going to do it my way. So I think this is a great way for us to become united. Because if there's ever a time for us to be united, it's now. And we need to be united as a nation. We are the United States of America, not the divided States of America. So a very exciting election. I know some people are going to be upset. Some people are going to be very overjoyed. But this is the way it goes. Now it's time to heal, as Joe Biden said. And whether you like him or you don't like him, I know a lot of people on the left don't like him. Let's give him a chance. I gave Donald Trump a chance. Let's give it a chance. This might be the guy we need. He might not be. This might end up being bad. But you know what? Let's give it the chance. I have a feeling that this might be what we need. This might be the guy who can bring us both together. And that's what needs to happen. Now, unfortunately, at this time, Donald Trump has not conceded, which I think is sad, because he needs to concede. He has lost and recognize the results. We do not need to do that. That seems to be my problem with Donald Trump. So he goes out there and he says that he won and he didn't win. And these were unfortunate things. I mean, Fox News called this, MSNBC called this, CNN called this, ABC, CBS. They wouldn't call this. Basically, when they call it, it's like a sealed envelope. That's why they had to wait so long before they called it. So, Associated Press has called it. This is the way it is. Joe Biden is president-elect. That does not mean. But let's use this as a moment to be together. I mean, this is a time for healing, and let's heal together. And Donald Trump, hopefully, I don't think he will, but maybe he'll walk away gracefully, and he can do the thing that every president before him has done: a peaceful transition of power. I mean, George H.W. Bush, when he was defeated for one term, as a one-term president, he welcomed Bill Clinton and he wrote him a great letter. Same thing with Bill Clinton to George W. Bush. That's the way we do it. That's the way we do it in America. We don't hold these grudges. The election's over. Now it's time to be a nation of one. Obama did it for Trump. He needs to do it for Biden. Now, whether he does it or not, I don't know. But, when I see these things, it's unfortunate. Because this is a time for us to be. And that's my problem with Trump. Donald Trump attacked our sacred institution, voting, and said that it doesn't matter. He said things like, I won all the legal votes. And all the illegal votes I didn't win. All the illegal votes, the ones that didn't vote for you, mail-in ballots, I find that very disheartening to hear him say that. So hopefully he'll change his rhetoric, but I don't know if he will. But Joe Biden is your president-elect, and I want to end on a quote from Joe Biden. Sorry for that rustling of paper. Joe Biden said this: failure at some point in your life is inevitable, but giving up is unforgivable. I'll say it again. Failure at some point in your life is inevitable, but giving up is unforgivable. So yeah, you may fail, but if you stop because you failed, that you'll always look back and wonder why or what if. So what I say to you is, move forward and be the best person you can be. And let's all be the best Americans we can be and look out for one another, because we are all in this together. And that's my speech of unity, and I leave you with that quote, and I am hopeful for the future. Now, I told you I did vote for Biden, but I'm not going to rub this in. That's not the way we're going to do this. I realize there are people that voted for Trump, and they're not dumb people. They just see it a different way. But now is the time for healing. Let's heal as a nation. I'm going to leave that quote there. Joe Biden is your next president of the United States, number 46. And with that, I want to say thank you for listening. I appreciate every one of you. And I will see you next time on the DMF.